Hey world, it's Professor Swag, and I'm just gonna talk about, I'm just gonna answer a couple of questions that people have asked me consistently, before or whatever. I'm married to a foreigner. My wife is from the Philippines, and from time to time I get questions from women, black women in particular, but women in general for the most part, as to why did I marry a foreigner, or why did I not marry somebody that's not black? And first thing first, before I even start explaining details or whatever, this not gonna be one of them sessions where I bash black women or bash American women, because I have the utmost respect for black women. My sisters are black, my mama is black, and so forth, my aunties and all other family members. This ain't one of them type of sessions where I'm just gonna sit here and disrespect black women and American women. I'm just trying to give you some advice as to why I did and the things that I noticed, and hopefully it may help you in your relationship regardless of whoever you date. Alright, so let's get to it. Alright, so first thing first, my first dates with foreigners were extremely different. And what I mean by extremely different, it was different by the way I was treated. I put it this way, the hospitality I noticed was a lot better. I dated great black women. I dated some good black women, and I dated other women that weren't black, white and, Latinos, whatever, that were American women as well. But it was a big difference when I dated American women versus foreigners. My first date with a foreigner was a Philippine woman. It wasn't my wife, but it was with a Philippine woman. I was in Korea. As you can see, I'm a veteran. And me and my homeboy went on a double date. I was talking to this girl. He was talking to her friend. We went on a double date with two Philippine women. And on this date, these women were feeding us like we were babies. We was being pampered. And I wasn't used to that. I ain't never had that happen to me before on a date. Me being an American guy, my homeboy being an American guy, our first natural thought was, man, they just trying to get to the States. That's generally, especially, I like to say for most black men, if you experience something like that from a foreigner and she feeding you like a baby on the first date, and you're in the military and you overseas, your first thought is like, man, she just trying to get to the States. But then I went on another date with this person and they did it. And I went on dates with other Filipinos and they did it. Koreans, they did it. I went on a date with an African woman and she did it. I put it this way, it wasn't even a date. She cooked for me and fed me. And I sat there and I'm sitting here thinking, after having all these dates, I realized it wasn't, these Philippine women weren't trying to get to the States. It was just a culture thing. And I feel like a lot of the reasons people who marry outside their race is because the experience and how they're treated is good. And my experience was good. I'm not saying black women or American women don't do that stuff. I just never went on a date with one that did. And I have dated some good American black women. We just, in the end, weren't compatible. They were good women, and we was compatible at the time, but I didn't see compatibility from a marriage perspective. So that's why I married the woman I married. I liked the way I was being treated. I get pampered with my wife, and I found us to be compatible as far as marriage. we're compatible. We've been together 15 years. So that's to answer you guys' question or whatever. Now I notice like other people don't get it, and the reason and what I found, over just observing the different cultures and stuff, this wasn't this was like in black culture we'd be like, well, I ain't gonna say we, but well, yeah, in the black culture we always say, well, I'm not gonna say me in particular, but in the culture it has this narrative that black women don't know how to treat a man and X, Y, and Z. Black women do, but you just gotta find the right one. Like me, I dated good black women. I just didn't find the right one that was compatible for me as far as marriage. But to get to my point is, I noticed the way foreign women treat American men is way different than how American women treat American men. And what I'm getting at is, yes, you can have a great American woman who treats you right and X, Y, and Z. But there were things that I noticed from a cultural perspective with foreigners, in my experience, that they took it up to the next level compared to my experience with American women. It was just things that they did, like I said, being on a date and being fed and I still get fed like a baby sometimes. I still get pampered. Even though I've been married almost been married and been together 15 years, it's I still get that same treatment I got when we first got together. And like I said, the reason I say it's a foreign thing, because those first few dates that I experienced with foreign women, the first few were Filipino women, then it was Korean women, and then it was African women that also did the same thing. So what I'm trying to get at is my experience in dating, like dating the American black woman versus the African black woman is different. It is totally different. The mindset is different. The way they're raised is different. And in the dating process, when you date, especially if you date someone from one of the poorer nations in Africa, you realize like how much stuff that you actually take for granted. Same thing with me dating my Philippine wife. When I first went there, I realized how much stuff we took for granted as a culture. You don't realize it till you go there. And that's why, like, when you're going on dates and stuff, I find them to be more appreciative of the date. And a good example would be an American woman will go out on a date with you just to eat food. Just to eat the food. They don't even like you. They don't have no intention of being with you. But they'll go out on a date with you just to eat. Now, I'm not going to say foreigners don't do that. But in most cases, if a foreigner is not interested in you, they just be like, no, thank you. They don't even entertain it. They don't entertain it at all. They don't like you. They just simply keep it at that. They don't try to lure you in with the false belief that there's going to be a possibility of a relationship in the future. They look at it as if they're wasting your time, they're also wasting their own time, because they could be utilizing that time to actually find somebody that they're compatible to be with, to, build generational wealth and grow a family with. The American woman, I've noticed in a lot of cases, they're more of opportunists. And not saying no other culture is, but they're opportunists. Like most cultures, foreign cultures in general, they're more family first. Like I notice in American culture, it depends on what side of family you talking about before you even say family first. If it's the other side of it's crazy. Like I notice, this is just my experience. In the urban community, I'm not gonna say black because black people aren't the only people that live in the urban community. In the urban community, it's like people will be like, when it comes to that family first thing, in the hood, people, if something go down, you and all the homies are ready to fight. Ready to fight. Everybody ready to fight. Like, oh no, you ain't coming in my hood doing X, Y, and Z. Nope, everybody ready to fight. You can go to them same homies and try to ask them to do something good. Hey, yo, be like, I got 1,500. Hey, I'm trying to start a business. I need 5,000. Can you come up with something? They'll say they ain't got it and want to do it and won't even try to come up with it. You got the vision, they won't even believe. They won't put their energy towards something positive like that. To get back to the topic, to get to the main thing, to answer y'all question, the reason I married a foreign woman is because I saw compatibility with this woman as far as the marriage level, and I felt like it would work out, and I liked the way I was being treated. It was just simple. I'm not gonna sit here and say foreign women don't get mad and they don't have their days and stuff like that, because everybody do, regardless of culture, and women of all cultures do have similar mindsets in some aspects, but the way they execute those mindsets are very different and very culturally influenced. So, just to answer that for y'all, that's just what it is. If you got anything to say, just comment below. Thank you.